Howdy, who all my stock market gamblers? Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, they're trying to push the markets up higher, right? They're trying to get the markets back up at record highs. S&P record high, Dow record high, NASDAQ not yet, not yet. Now they're going to try to push it up. Now I think the NASDAQ's broken. I think NVIDIA has already hit its high, and I think the NASDAQ is going to lead the way down. Now, can they push it up to a double top? Yes, that's possible, even maybe a little higher. But typically after the Fed pivots, it's about 2 weeks after that where the market starts to come down. You get the euphoria, right? And the market's starting to go up, going up, going up. That's the euphoria phase. But after the 2 weeks, the euphoria wears off and the markets start to come in. Now, I think these levels are not going to be seen for a very long time. Yes, we're at record highs. That's where tops are made, right? I mean, we're in a topping pattern. I don't think the NASDAQ is going to reach a new record. It's possible it will. I'd call it a double top. I think that's where it's going to turn down. Now, it can turn down as soon as this week, but I think the top will be next week where we start to turn down. Next week will be 2 weeks after the Fed pivot, and I do think we'll go lower. A lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people think we're off to the races. Now, Warren Buffett, he would not be one of those people. You see the Buffett indicator, now this is wild. It's at 200%. 200%. You see, Warren says stocks are expensive, anything over 100%. We're at 200%. So Warren's saying we have to come back at least 50% just to get back to normal. Now, for stocks to get cheap, you'd have to drop below that 50% and go down even farther. You see, Warren, he's been dumping his stocks. He dumped $6 billion of Bank of America, right? He dumped that. He's been dumping a lot of his Apple stock. Now, who does he dump it to? I would say that he's dumping it to who's going to be the bag holders, right? The bag holders are buying the Bank of America. They're buying the Apple from. Now, when the NASDAQ leads the way down, and I do think it's going to start probably next week, maybe they push that NASDAQ up to a new record high, but I don't see it. I think it's going to start to come down. Now, will it come down all at once? No, I don't think it's going to be a big crash. I think it's going to be more of a slow bleed, right? Now, it could take a year. It could take 2 years in the slow bleed to get down that 50, 60%. But I think if you look out for 5 years, 10 years, you're not going to be back at these numbers yet. You're going to have a negative return for the next decade. That's just my take. That's just the way I see it. Yours may be completely different. Now, once you start that slow bleed, it can pick up speed. It can start to snowball. It can start to crash, if you will. You see what happens, and you young people, you've never seen this in the stock market, but people actually get what's called margin calls. A lot of people are trading on margin right now. They're levered out in the market 2, 3, 4 times. They put in 100,000 and they play with 400,000 in the market. And when it starts to come down, well, they get this thing called a margin call. So what does a margin call do? It means they have to sell something or it will be sold for them by their brokerage firm. And that creates more and more selling. It almost is like a panic selling, if you will, and that will send the market lower down, like I say, probably about 50% of Warren Buffett's standard, and that's probably about right. Maybe we overshoot it to the downside. 60% is possible, right? But we're in a topping pattern. We're very close. Not yet, not yet. I think we've got another week left here, another week to push that NASDAQ up to a new record high, a double top, if you will. Just my take. All right, let's get over to the real estate market, because it's very similar, right? I mean, there's going to be what's called a lot of panic selling. Okay, now here's what's funny, though. I was reading this article. This is a great one. Let me give you the headline. Mortgage rates are coming down and home buyers are ready to pounce. Are you a home buyer that's ready to pounce on the market, ready to go out there and buy in this market? Now, everybody's excited, right? Because the Fed cut 50 basis points. So the Fed cut 50 basis points. What happened to mortgages? Kind of funny. They went up. They didn't go down. They went up. What? That's interesting. Why? Well, mortgages are at the long end of the curve. Long end's not coming down. Yes, the Fed cut 50 basis points, but it's done absolutely nothing for home buyer demand. And it's actually created mortgages to go up, which is kind of counterintuitive, right? But what's happening now is a lot of the home buyers are starting, well, they're on strike. The home buyers are on strike, but the home sellers, they're starting to panic. I know some of them personally. Now, here's a gentleman, right? Okay, he's bought another house, moved out of the area, and he was waiting to fix this house up so he could sell it, for top dollar. He wanted to get top dollar, but he waited too long, waited past that August 17th deadline. People don't know what that caused. Well, that took away all the buying agents for real estate. Real estate doesn't have buying agents. If you want me to write an offer for you right now, I'd say, no, I don't want to do it. And that's what a lot of agents say. No, I don't want to do it. So a lot of the buyers, they're not writing offers. Maybe they're representing themselves, the ones that want to buy the offers. But they got rid of the buying agents. They should have got rid of the selling agents. Selling agents don't do anything, but the buying agents, they do something. They bring you a buyer. So here's my buddy. Okay. So anyway, so he fixed up his condo all nice, right? Did a remodel, put like $100,000 into it. $100,000, went way over budget, redid the kitchen, redid the bathrooms, had it all, the floors all redone and, freshly painted, and almost $100,000, just ridiculous sum of money, right? Okay, so he was hoping to get like $1.3 million for it, because that's what the last guy got. But the last guy, he didn't even remodel. Now he sold, 3 months ago. That was before August 17th, wiped out all of the buying agents. So before then, he sold and he got 1.3 million. My friend was hoping to get at least that and get it bid up. Well, the problem is he's had to reduce the price. Reduce the price. Where is he at? He's down under $1 million. Think about that. The last guy sold for 1.3 million, didn't fix anything, all original. My buddy did a complete remodel of his condo, right? And he was hoping to get above that 1.3 million, but he's down here at $1 million and no offers yet. He may have to come down to 900, down to 800. You don't know where this is going to take him, right? But at 1.3 million, the guy that got out before the deadline was August 17th. Now there's some horrendous numbers in the real estate market, right? I mean, you're not going to see these numbers till December, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because we got an election, but you're not going to see them before then. There's a lag time in real estate before what's going on, right? Okay, so I'm a broker, so I get to know what's going on. I know that property, right? Well, he wanted $1.3 million down here at 995. You come in and you make a low offer, right? Maybe you make 20% off of that. Maybe you make 800,000. Well, that'd be an interesting offer. It'd be the only offer he has. Maybe he'd take it. I don't really know. But let's say he comes down here to 800,000. Last guy was $1.3 million. Let's say he takes that $800,000 off. So he's down here, okay, 500,000 below the $1.3 million guy. But then he's still got his cost, right? Okay, so he still put in 100,000. That brought him down to 700. He's got to pay the realtor, right? That's called 5% and closing 50,000, right? Closing costs and everything. He's down. Where's he down at 650? That's just terrible. When the last guy got $1.3 million, that's half of what that guy got, and that's what's going on in the real estate market right now. My area. Now I know real estate, not in your area. Your area is still going up, right? I mean, your area didn't even have that law. Your area probably doesn't even use real estate agents. But when you get rid of the real estate agents, bad things start to happen, right? Bad things start to happen. And this is what's going on. Now, my accountant, he told me about those other two. They bought other houses. They are now carrying 2 mortgages. And they're starting to panic, right? Starting to panic. There's some panic out there amongst the sellers. It's getting interesting. But you see, you're a buyer on the sideline, right? Now, maybe you dip your toe in and you come in and you offer 30% below the market value. And there's going to be some desperation out there, right? A lot of desperation out there. Now, don't worry, Kamala, she's going to fix all this, give everybody everybody 25,000, everybody's going to go buy the houses, right? And that's possible. I suppose that's possible. Maybe the Federal Reserve, maybe they start to buy houses. I don't know with what money. They don't have any money. Oh yeah, they're going to print the money. Maybe they'll buy houses. They'll lease it back to you, right? Because that's what they like to do. They like to lease it back, want to be like a landlord. Maybe the Federal Reserve will be our next landlord. But we had some really good news, came out, right? Over this past week, we had some good news. Did you see it? Did you see it? It's called the funding bill. The funding bill. We get to keep the government open, right? All the way to December 20th. The funding bill is going to fund the government. Now, what are they going to fund them with? They don't have any money, right? Oh, they should call it a printing bill because they're going to print the money, right? They're going to print the money. They're not going to fund anybody. They don't have any funds to fund with. So they should call it the printing bill. But yes, we got an extension. Now, it's my opinion, this is just my opinion, that we'd be much better off if the government actually shut down. You see, the government, they're spending $1 trillion that we don't have every 72 days. Let's shut them down for 72 days and we just knocked $1 trillion off of the deficit, right? I mean, off of what we're spending. That's ridiculous. You see, there's two things I want to see happen in my lifetime, right? Okay, here's the first one. I want our country to get back to sound money, get back to real money, take away the power from the government, right? They don't have any power if they can't print money. Right now, they can print money and spend all they want. They can do whatever they want. You take away that power, give it back to the people, you get back to real money. You can do that, right? Gold and silver, that's real money. But it's going to be painful. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wants that pain. No one gets elected telling you you're going to go back to real money. Not going to get you elected. They get elected saying you're going to get a free car. That'll get them elected, right? We're going to give you free gas for a lifetime. That'll get them elected, right? We're going to give you 50 grand to buy a house. I guess she's only giving 25 grand, but that'll get you elected, right? We're going to give you 50 grand to start a business, get you elected, and you don't have to pay any of your loans back. That's what gets you elected. Nobody wants to feel the pain. Nobody wants to hear about austerity measures. They just don't want to hear about it. And I can't blame them. I want free stuff too. Buy me a new house. Buy me a new car. Let me not pay any of my debts. Let me just live off the government, right? Isn't that the way we are? Socialism? Isn't that what we want in this country? Not what I want. I want us to go back to sound money. Sound money. Now, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it voluntarily. But when this thing comes crashing down, they're going to have to do it because everybody loses confidence in the dollar. The dollar will go to zero. It'll go to zero. It's going to go away, right? That goes to zero. It's going to lose all of its purchasing power. How do you get confidence back? You got to back it by something. What are you going to back it by? Gold, silver, real money. But Mike, we got Bitcoin now. We can back it with Bitcoin. Maybe you can. I want to see gold and silver back as the main money. Bitcoin, I don't trust it. I mean, I gamble in it. I love it. It's great, man. Up 80%, down 80%. I love Bitcoin. Don't take it away from us. That's the best gambling vehicle we got. I want to keep Bitcoin, but I do want to get the country back to sound money. Maybe we'll take the sound money and buy some of that Bitcoin, gamble on it a little bit, right? Watch it go up and down. But anyways, that's one thing I want to see happen. Get back to sound money. When are we going to do it? We're going to do it when it all comes crashing down. When the dollar goes to zero, we're going to actually then force the government, because that's the only way we'd have confidence in the currency, is if it was backed by real money. So we're going to get back on the gold and silver standard. It's coming. It's just going to take a little bit of time. They can't win it. Politicians can't win promising you that stuff. But here's the second thing I'd like to see happen to our country, to rebuild our country, right? When we rebuild, because we're going to crash on this next watch. Doesn't matter who gets in office, really doesn't. You can put anybody in there, put a donkey in there if you want, put whatever you want in there. Whole thing's coming down, I promise you that. Okay, so you got gold and silver, right? That's what I want to make as the money. Now, here's the second thing. Here's the thing. I just want to eliminate the Federal Reserve. They've stolen all of our purchasing power. Since they've been in office, stolen 98% of your purchasing power. We would be such a stronger country if we never had them. They're a criminal organization. They should go away, right? That's my second wish, right? First wish, sound money. Second wish, get rid of the Federal Reserve. We'll rebuild our country back. We'll take it back. We, the people, are going to do that. Now, how do we do that now? We do the quiet revolution, right? We take our currency out of the banking system, which is fiat currency, not backed by anything. We take it out of their system and put it into our system, the real money system, the gold and silver, and we rebuild the country. We rebuild it. We become our own central banks. See, that's what the central banks are doing. They're stocking up on the gold and silver. Now, does the United States have any left? I don't know, because they won't tell us. They won't let anybody in Fort Knox to audit it. The Fed never gets audited. We don't know what the Fed's doing. They're out there buying everything. They have like 3 or 4 different balance sheets, and we don't get to see them, right? We can't audit the Fed. Ron Paul, he tried to audit the Fed years ago. They shut him down. The Fed is above the law. Look, they're not part of our government. They're a separate entity. We do not need them. They have been criminal. They have stolen our purchasing power. This is just my take. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. But first, punch the subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.